Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. This video is to explain more on why narcissistic people covertly get pleasure out of your misfortune and how to spot signs that somebody is getting pleasure out of your misfortune and what you can do to sidestep these people and no longer involve them too much within the details of your life. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers and your continued support with the channel. If you are new to the channel, I'm Elizabeth Shaw. This channel is all about the narcissist personality disorder to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with in your life, how to handle those people or how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot go no contact, and different methods to find what works for you to help you overcome narcissistic abuse. If you do find the information helpful on the channel, please do subscribe. And please remember, this information won't resonate with everybody. You have to take the bits that help you as an individual and leave the information that isn't of relevance to you as an individual. Our life's journey, our healing is personal to ourselves, and it's great to take advice, it's great to take ideas. However, we have to choose the advice and the ideas that work for us and leave those that don't work for us. So when it comes to, usually all narcissists take pleasure out of someone else's misfortune. However, most of them do it in a covert way. Taking pleasure out of someone's misfortune is a sign of covert narcissism within a person. I'm not sure I can pronounce the term properly, but I'll have a go and I'll link the word up here. The German word Schadenfreude, which means that somebody gets joy, they get pleasure, they get self-satisfaction out of the harm they cause another, out of witnessing somebody else's troubles, somebody else's problems, somebody else's misfortune, somebody else's mistake, somebody else's pain, somebody else's humiliation. A narcissist seeks self-satisfaction. They seek pleasure out of seeing other people fail. They lack the empathy to sympathise with what somebody else is going through. They've hardened their hearts that they lack the empathy to care or to see it from someone else's perspectives. However, they covertly hide this because they have some perspective on how another person might judge them if they didn't covertly hide this. Not all narcissists will covertly hide this. Some will gloat and boast about somebody else's misfortune. But we can't always recognise the signs because of how a narcissist goes about it. Many people can have feelings of pleasure towards somebody else's misfortune if that misfortune is just deserts, it's justice on what that person has put another person through. When you see justice being served, when somebody has caused somebody pain, when somebody has exploited another person, when somebody has duped somebody or exploited you, duped you, and you see them trip up and fail, it is normal human behaviour, normal human emotions to have a bit of self-satisfaction, to see karma catch up with somebody. Which is why when a grandiose narcissist will gloat about somebody else's misfortune, they've usually painted themselves out to be the victim. So you can almost relate to them being happy about somebody else's misfortune. A covert more often tries to hide it. So all people are more than capable of feeling joy when they see somebody else fail. Depends on the reason behind their feeling that joy. If it's justice served, you have every right to feel pleased that you have seen justice served on somebody that has done wrong by you or wrong by another person. When it comes to a narcissist feeling joy, feeling pleasure at someone else's misfortune, that person, more often than not, hasn't done anything to anybody and hasn't done anything to the narcissist. The narcissist is just envious of that person. And whatever the narcissist is envious of within that person, the narcissist seeks to destroy. When a narcissist is envious of somebody or hates somebody, dislikes somebody, instead of just avoiding that person, staying away from that person, they tend to latch on to that person, especially when that person is going through some form of pain that the narcissist is envious of. So if someone's built a big business and the narcissist is envious of that business they have built, when they see that business failing, they're going to latch on to that person to take pleasure out of that business failing. When a narcissist is envious of somebody else's relationship, then they see that relationship starting to fail. They're going to get in there to distort reality for that person to make sure they see that relationship fail so that the narcissist can feel better about themselves. Because a narcissist gets a sick enjoyment, they get a sick pleasure out of watching people being stripped away from that person what the narcissist is envious of. They enjoy seeing people stripped of their achievements, stripped of their happiness. The narcissist gets a pleasure out of seeing people losing what the narcissist is envious of within that person, which shows in one sense that a narcissist feels inferior to others. Rather than being jealous of somebody, we can all have feelings of jealousy. Rather than feeling jealous of somebody and thinking, oh wow, and be pleased for that other person and think, how could I achieve that for myself? That's jealousy. We can all have it. We can all just look at a car or a handbag and think, oh, I'd love to have that. But we don't seek to destroy that for the other person. We seek to find ways of how we can attain that, achieve that for ourselves. Narcissistic people see something they want and then they go all out to find ways to exploit people, to take it away from people, either to take it so the narcissist can have it from themselves or to take it so that nobody can have it. Because if the narcissist isn't happy, ain't nobody going to be happy. Someone else's misfortune, your misfortune, provides a narcissist temporary relief from their envy. But as envy is one of their criteria for the disorder, as it's one of their beliefs, as it's who they are as a person, as it's one of their core values as such, it's only ever a temporary relief because there's going to be something else. They're always looking for more. They're entitled. They always expect more. So as soon as they've had that temporary relief, they're going to go out and look and find something else they're envious of that they then need to destroy within that person to get that temporary relief for themselves. And you can't help them with this because they're too busy trying to hide it from everybody because it's not something they want to admit to. Those who see justice served on somebody that's harmed them can find it difficult to admit to the fact that they feel happy, they feel joy that they've seen justice served. And that is when somebody has harmed them. So when somebody seeks to harm another, they're not going to admit to this. They're going to find a way to lie, deny, blame and shame the other person to escape taking responsibility for how they feel and for how they behave. So some signs that you're dealing with somebody like this is when you go and try to share your feelings with them, you're going to come away feeling far worse than when you started the conversation with them. They're going to go all out to bring you down, to criticize you, to judge you, to tell you that you're being too emotional, that you're overreacting, that you're being too sensitive. You're going to feel more confused after the conversation than when you started the conversation. Or the conversation might never get off the ground. They might come at you. You might start a discussion with them and they'll say, oh, I'm busy right now. Can we discuss this at the weekend? And then the weekend comes and they're going to say, oh, I don't want to discuss it right now. Let's discuss it in the evening. And when the evening comes, they don't want to discuss it. I will discuss it tomorrow morning. And when you start it up tomorrow morning, they're going to then accuse you of ruining their day when you need to discuss some important relationship stuff or life goals or career goals, whatever it is you need to discuss that they don't want to discuss. They're going to make you feel worse. You can have facts and evidence and they're still going to lie, deny and make you feel worse, which is why it is always best to recognize who they are, recognize what they're going to do. Know you have the facts and evidence, the information, you have it there in your hand. You don't need their explanations. You have the explanation with the facts and evidence and walk away from that person, because they're only going to seek to bring you down, to make you feel worse. Another sign that somebody is envious of another person, another sign that they get pleasure out of someone else's pain, is when you do go to discuss something with them, they turn it all around onto them, especially the vulnerable narcissist, the fragile narcissist. People can do this to strike up a two-way conversation, and it is a two-way conversation. So something can have happened to you and someone can relate. So they're trying to validate your feelings, which is why it's quite confusing when a narcissist does this, because we take it from the same place we'd be coming from, where we're trying to validate somebody else's feeling. A narcissist isn't trying to validate your feeling, they're trying to invalidate your feelings, and they do this by turning the whole conversation onto them. The very woe is me. They've lived through far worse has happened to them. Your pain is nothing compared to what they have been through. Even if what they've been through is years in the past, it's always going to be far worse than yours, leaving you feeling worse than when you started the conversation. They are never happy when other people are happy. They can never be pleased for somebody else's success. They always seek to find a way to create conflict, create drama, create chaos and bring other people down. They always seem to find a way to create an argument. You can pass your driving test and be in the best mood you've been in for a while. You can have aced the job interview, scored a new career goal. You can have achieved something in your day, and a narcissist is going to come home and nitpick at you about not taking a bin out, and they're going to come at you and come at you and come at you to bring you down, to put you in that mood, to upset you, because they're envious of your achievement. They might be able to drive, they might have a very good job, they might have already achieved something, but they want to come out on top. So they are going to discredit whatever you have done. They find happiness and joy out of others' misfortune. They will create your misfortune and then claim that they're only joking to get you to question yourself. They always seek to find a way to gossip about others in a negative way, to bring other people down. Another sign is they can be excessively interested in your misfortune. So you can have a narcissistic friend that isn't really a friend, but they're around in your life, and they're envious of your relationship. They're envious of who you are as a person. So they might be calling you names behind your back. They might be insulting you behind your back. And then when your relationship fails, all of a sudden, they are the ones there for you. They are the ones supporting you. They are the ones that you turn to for help in your time of need, not realising that before this happened, they were speaking badly of you. They were gossiping about you. And the information they're getting from you, they will usually be using this to gossip about you. They might help up stir the drama. They might feed the drama. They might come along and be your hero so that you feel obligated to them for being there for you in your hour of need, not recognising that they're getting a twisted pleasure out of your pain. And with a narcissist, they can sit there and watch you cry over the pain they have caused you with zero remorse, blaming you for the pain you are in with a glint in their eye or a smirk on their face. And that is another sign. People can smirk for various reasons. People who see justice being served can show the smirk. Narcissistic people will cause you pain and then smirk at the pain you are in. Genuine people will have been caused pain and then smirk when they see justice served. It's all in the intentions behind the behaviour and the act behind the behaviour, whether somebody has caused you pain and then feels smug that they've hurt you, feels pleasure within your misfortune, or whether somebody has caused you or somebody else pain and then you see karma hit them. So what can you do when dealing with these kinds of people is learn to raise your level of emotional intelligence. Learn your feelings, learn what your feelings are telling you. Learn to listen to your instincts, learn to listen to how you feel around somebody. Don't tell everyone everything about yourself. Not everybody is going to be interested in what's happening within your life. Many people are that busy with dealing with things that are happening in their own lives. We never know what's happening behind closed doors. Many people have their own troubles to deal with. It's not that they don't care for yours, it's just they've got enough on their plate without taking on somebody else's. Others are glad, they're pleased that it's happening to you and they're getting that delight and that joy that it's happening to you. Others are going to discredit you. So choose carefully who you open up to, especially if you haven't got a hold of your emotions. And when you've been through this, it takes time to get a hold of your emotional intelligence because your emotions have been put through turmoil and trauma. You've been gaslighted into no longer knowing what to think and what to feel. If you have told somebody something and you kind of wish later on that you hadn't have told them and they keep pushing you for more information, just tell them, that's in my past now. That's over with now. I've moved on from that. It's in my past. Even if you haven't moved on from it, just tell them you've moved on from it. Recognise how people treat other people. Those who talk to you about people will be talking about you to people. So recognise people for who they are. Sometimes we have to take a step back and observe somebody's behaviour, observe their facial expressions. For example, you could be watching some form of tragedy on television, even if it's in soapland, which in soapland, these things can happen in real life. You can be watching some tragedy on television and they will have zero sympathy for the characters, zero sympathy for what the other person's been through, or they will bring a story on how they've been through far worse. This is the kind of person you are dealing with. They lack the empathy to be able to sympathise with the pain somebody else is in. Or they will actually tell you that they're pleased it's happening to that character. And if that character is a character that goes around destroying people's lives, you can understand why it's pleased it's happening to that person. If that character is a genuine person who hasn't done anything wrong and they're pleased that that character is suffering, it shows what kind of person you are watching that program with. Guard your emotions around people who get pleasure out of other people's pain, who are envious of others, who gloat about others' misfortune, who gossip about others, who smear other people's names. If anyone has any thoughts on the video, please add those into the comments. I am currently full for one-to-one coaching. I have partnered with BetterHelp, and I shall link their sponsored link into the description. People keep emailing me about if I have a book. I do not have a book. I have several online courses which are a step-by-step guide to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with in your life, which I shall also link into all the video descriptions. Thank you very much for listening. Go out there and create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.